Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shonen and Chill, hosted by Zenrotto and Oceaniz.
Hello, nice to be back.
Yes, back after a week off, a little break. If the mangaka get a break, we'll take a little break too every now and again. You know what I mean? Can't always
Yeah,
be talking
exactly.
about JoJo's Goat Adventure every time they put the magazine up for a while.
Well, yeah, because eventually we're also gonna run out of JoJo parts.
Also
And,
true.
and dear God, we're gonna have to get into a new series.
No,
Can't
unacceptable. I like to read only the 6 things I like on repeat.
this, but unironically, like I can't remember the last time I watched an actually new show, but you bet I rewatch My Hero Academia yearly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going back through Bleach again, so I have no room to criticize.
But hey, we're here to discuss last week's chapters, which had a little bit more time to marinate, I think, this time.
Yes, yes. It'll be interesting because it'll be the first time we've actually really done an episode with like a long time to sit on the chapters. So we'll see if that's for better or for worse. I don't know. It could be a nightmare.
So what are your top three?
So my top 3 are number 3 is Dr. Stone, number 2 is My Hero, and number 1 is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Nice, very good picks. My number 3 is a wild card, namely Red Hood.
Aha! Nice. I
Aha.
like that.
Number 2 is Jujutsu Kaisen. And number 1, it's My Hero Academia. Like, I feel like a broken record these past couple of weeks. But yeah, so that's my top 10. Top 3, not top 10. I don't have top 10. Don't ask me for like my number 7 ranking. I don't know math. There's a reason I only do top 3s. Beyond that, numbers get scary.
But I understand. Well, it's easy on this show because the top 2 are almost always locked in. So it's just who's your number 3.
True, but I mean, in general, when someone asks you like, "Oh, so what are like your big shows?" Like a friend currently is having his anime awakening. He binged all of Bleach in like his holidays, and he came back and he was like, "Hey, so what are like animes you can recommend?" And my brain goes, "Oh yeah, right. I've never seen a single anime in my life." I'm just there stammering, trying to find like anything I've watched. So that's how I feel whenever someone asks me like a top 10 or even a top 5. Like top 3 is what I can stomach. Because that's easy, chill, and whatever happens in my ear is at the top, so we're good.
No betrayal for Horikoshi in it is what you're saying?
Yeah, at least not this week. The couch remains vacant this time. So what's the first show series?
So the first series that we're talking about before we get into the good stuff later is going to be Witch Watch.
Witch Watch. Really?
Witch
Is that
Watch.
the first thing?
It is.
Oh, okay. Well,
I know it's surprising. You'd think it would be the stuff that's released off schedule, but it actually got released later, so it's up at the very top of the.
Right. Okay. Oh yeah. Before we jump into Witch Watch, I have a cool announcement. I can finally properly pay for the Shonen Jump app.
Oh my God!
Yeah. I still have to use a VPN because Switzerland still doesn't exist. But our money does now to the Shonen Jump app. So I don't have to like, have to use foreign currency or whatever. I can just fucking pay with my own. Yeah, I can just pay with my own money, which is nice.
Nice. I love the Shonen Jump app, man. That thing is the shit.
It's such a good service.
It's so good. Like, $2 for all the manga you could ever want.
Even better when you don't have to jump through 17 hoops to get it, just because Shonen Jump decided, oh, I guess the middle of Europe is just a gaping hole. Nothing there. Next. So, yeah. That was also what just came to mind when I looked at the app, and I was like, oh, wait, this looks different now. But yeah. So, Witch Watch. What's the lunchbox quote for this one?
Pretty cool. I liked it. I'm still kind of in the point with this where I'm like, I don't want to get too invested in the idea that we're going to start a long-winded narrative, because when it stops and we go back to like, it's lunchtime and someone needs to poop chapters, I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm going to be so disappointed.
Yeah, I feel that.
So I'm not willing to invest too hard yet. But I think it's pretty cool what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Yeah, like
the last few panels. Like the panel of the wolf getting punched is so good. And the whole
mhm.
last little bit where he's like, you're weak as shit. And then the warlock or whatever is like, don't get the wrong idea. His best strength isn't that he's super strong, it's that he's super durable.
Mhm.
And then he gets up and just decks the shit out of him. I'm ready for this fight. Also, I
Yeah.
don't know if it's me, but the art's really good, and I don't know if I've ever properly appreciated that on the show before.
I think it's harder to appreciate good art when what you're showing is relatively mundane, which Witch Watch has been for a while, where it was, it's showing you people doing people stuff. And while the art has always been, I think, pretty good, it's hard to like pinpoint to it, right? Because we have that Shonen ape brain, right? Like art is good when it makes us go raw. But I agree. Like I think these last more action focused chapters have definitely helped in like really showing the talent of the mangaka here. And also, you didn't mention it, but the twist with the depressy guy being Wolf, I'm not gonna lie, that was cool. Like, it's not fucking Shakespeare, right? But it's cool. Like, I didn't see it coming, and it genuinely kind of took me for a spin there. Because I was totally on board with this just being like a random side
Oh,
character
me too.
that
It
helps him
blew
a
me
little.
away, absolutely.
Yeah, and like the whole werewolf thing, where instead of turning into a wolf, you just change appearance, and that's how he could fool them. I was like, oh, all right, like okay, we're doing a little bit of this then.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I like Wolf in general. It kind of sucks that
hmm
he's gonna probably get bopped here in like the next couple chapters and no longer be relevant
yeah,
and or become good because that's kind of what happens in stuff like this. Um,
yeah, kinda.
you know,
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it's kind of too early to tell because he could very well also just get absorbed into the main cast one way or another.
yeah,
Because
this
he
is just
feel
kind of the type of series where I feel like even if the warlock plot continues, beating Wolf is all it's gonna take for him to be like, all right, I hang out at your house now. It's a very JoJo Part 4 kind of thing, right?
First, I beat you up in the street, and then you come and clean my house on Wednesdays for decent pay.
You come and greet me on the way to school every morning like Okuyasu.
Oh, bless his heart. This is a household that respects Okuyasu Nijimura. Um, but yeah, I'm super hyped for like this direction is going. I liked how quickly we got to like the meat of things with this arc. Where like we had like a chapter for like setup, then another chapter for sort of the explanation of how things work, like one chapter where Wolf kind of gets built up a little more, and then here we are in like the big operation where they're like, we have to fight Wolf and find these guys, and it's like, yeah, like for a first like proper narrative arc, I think this is a super strong grip on pacing. Because really, especially in this chapter, there wasn't really any parts where I felt like, okay, can we get a move on, please? Right? Like most of it kind of flowed pretty nicely, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is not like his first rodeo. His he did Sket Dance before that, which was super popular. But
Yeah, he also did Astro Lost in Space, which was
really,
also super
that I
popular.
did not
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Which is cool as hell. But I don't know. I'm just very pleased with Witch Watch. Like Witch Watch is one of those ones where I feel like I had almost written it off, like almost
Mm-hmm.
completely as like whatever, and now I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, kind of slaps,
Yeah, so it's
actually.
like a low key version of the Elusive Samurai for you then.
Yes, but not as serious because in the Elusive Samurai, I was literally like, this shit sucks. Whereas with Witch Watch, I was just kind of like, I'm just gonna stop expecting good things out of it and just kind of dick around, just have a good time. With the Elusive
Well, I mean,
Samurai, I was like, this is garbage.
to be fair, I'm not gonna expect much from this. It's just a euphemized version of this is garbage
I
in a
guess,
lot
but
of
I
ways.
feel like I was more offended by the Elusive Samurai being garbage than I was with Witch Watch. I think
Middle of
the
the
Elusive
night,
Samurai hurt my feelings more when it was garbage.
middle of the night, Zen just wakes up fuming, realizing that the elusive samurai still exists. Still draws breath and chapters.
Yeah, it's like how I felt about Samurai 8, except now I like it. So it didn't have to suffer Samurai 8's fate.
It's always the samurais with you, huh?
It is, man. I always think like, oh, this could be good, and then it's not. But actually, it is. Elusive Samurai is now. By the way,
Local.
have you seen
Mhm.
how crazy Elusive Samurai is selling?
Yeah.
Holy
It's
shit, dude.
it's in its what, third reprint off of the first volume only. Like
Yep, it was
that
like
is,
I think it ranked 12th on one volume. Like that's
yeah,
nuts.
it is pretty crazy.
Mashle's also doing really well, which
Yeah, I
which we
mean,
love to see.
in general, I mean, Jump is on fire right now. Like, regardless of what you think of the content, which I think most of it is pretty good. Um, but even regardless of that, like Jump series right now are selling massively. You know, probably also boosted a little bit by the pandemic, since everyone's, at home or was at home for the most part and kind of needed something to do. And manga is kind of this growing industry that everyone, or at least a lot of people in like the right age ranges, are probably like, I might check it out, I might not. Like, as I said, one of my IRL friends who's always been kind of on the fence about manga and anime has recently been really heavily getting into it. Like, this man overtook me in Bleach within like 2 days, and then
I love
started
to hear
asking me
that.
questions. Yeah, he like started asking me questions about like the Quincy's, and I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know. What the fuck do you want from me? So yeah, I'm assuming that
Send
also
him
had
to
to do
me.
with
I'll set him straight.
uh, so yeah, just very happy that a lot of these series are doing well, and I think Witch Watch is also doing really nicely. Like I think Volume One sold pretty decently. Also looks cute as hell.
Yeah, no, it is doing pretty well. Which I don't know. I feel like Japan likes silly shit more than maybe I do. Also, I saw
Mhm.
that unfortunately, I'm like 90% sure Candy Flurry is gonna get cut here pretty soon.
Oh, you think Candy Flurry is getting
It's
cut?
doing worse than Magu-chan, which was already like not doing well. So
Oh, that's not good.
no, it's not
Uh,
ideal.
Oops. Well, we'll talk about it when we get to Candy Flurry, but to just close off Witch Watch. So what's the verdict?
Uh, please keep being raw out of 10.
Please make them punch each other harder and more out of 10.
All right, I like that. So our
All
next
right, man.
series is Neru, Way of the Martial Artist.
Uh,
Yeah,
it's
I
all
don't know.
right.
I'm not that into it. I'm kind of like, what the fuck? The whole thing where they were like, wow, how's he doing that? Oh, he just has like super feet.
Yeah,
And I
it's
was
kind
like,
of weird how
oh,
much. It's kind of weird
okay.
how much of this is hinging on him having like crazy feet. Like,
Yeah, I don't really
all right.
understand it. And then the one panel where the dude's thought is just those feet. I'm not okay with it.
Oh, that's the reaction image right there. People, please reply to Zenrotto's tweets with that image. You do not know how much the streets need that.
This I don't know, man. I mean, it was also. Did it feel like they rushed this test thing to you?
I don't know about rushing. It just felt kind of, I don't know, it felt difficult to get invested in because the stuff that was going on was kind of all over the place, right? Because so we had a written test, and then you run up the stairs and you have to find the scars, but they're special scarves, and it's like, I don't know, for something that started out with such a, Naruto-esque test premise, it kind of felt weirdly like inconsequential by comparison. So I don't know if I would say rushed. I would say it feels less important than maybe it should have, which could have to do with it being rushed. I don't know. Like, I just struggled for the entire duration of me reading it with just getting invested.
Yeah,
I don't.
and I don't know why. That's the thing. Because my first thought was like, he's too good. But then I was like, that's not a good excuse because I've liked tons of shit where the main character's too good early on. I just don't know. Maybe the hook just isn't getting me. Like maybe I just don't care about him getting into martial arts school. And like I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't know. The whole time, like the ninjas showed up and they were like, "Oh yeah, this hello," and like they're trying to be all creepy and shit, and then it just, "Oh, I'm the special one," and I wouldn't try to get my headband because I'm the special one. And then he was like, "Ah, I did it with my super feet," and I was just like, I don't care about any of this. Maybe it's
Yeah,
manga overload. Maybe I'm reading too many chapters at once to give a shit about all of them. I don't know. Because, like, on paper, there's nothing here that's that offensive to me, but I just don't care.
yeah, but I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily even consider manga overload as like an excuse because like, we're kind of in a way we're kind of emulating what it would be like to buy these magazines every week. You get the whole thing, and then you have the option to go through the entire thing and have an opinion on everything. And for me, my weekly haul of manga, Neru definitely feels like a very weak link. And whether or not that is because I read all of this stuff at once, or whether it is genuinely because it's weaker, I couldn't say. I just definitely think out of all the offerings that we are currently reading, Neru is having a very hard time in getting me invested in what's happening. And you mentioned the hook, and I definitely think it has to do with that, where the hook is, it's kind of very vague, which isn't a bad thing of itself, but it's not vague in a good way, right? Like if you have a character like, I don't know, Ichigo, because I've been reading Bleach, and it's just like, I want to live happily, I want to have friends that are not dying. That's vague, but it's also something you can get behind of. Whereas here it's just, I kind of want to just be good at martial arts. And it's like, okay, cool. So yeah, like there definitely is a weird disconnect. And I feel like it's going to take a few more chapters for me to really hone in on what it is, because I'm feeling very confused here with my feelings towards this series, if that makes any sense.
No, I think that makes perfect sense. I agree with everything you said, more or less. I can't really pinpoint it either. It just doesn't feel quite right. Something's about it.
Yeah, like just something about it feels stuck in the 80s, I guess. Just like its art style.
True. All right, so we got to skip this one because it is a top three, dark horse top three. Just spoiler alert,
Oh.
it was Red Hood that came up on the thing. So the next series is going to be Candy Flurry.
The potential cancellation. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, well, for what it's worth, the chapter was fine. Like, I thought it was quite fun. Like a cool choreography fight chapter that ends with just a cool panel of the main girl jumping in.
I really
So,
think that the way they use the powers is cool. Like I love how she's like, "Oh, it's not sticky if it's frozen," but then he's still able to fight, and he starts using it as like a spear, just like it's like a different kind of weapon. I can't tell how strong this bitch with the glasses is supposed to be. I can't tell how strong she's supposed to be because every time they fight, or like she's been fighting them, and then she starts losing after they take their power up, and she's like, "Oh, everyone's gone. Now I can use my full power." And then she starts fighting, but then they just start beating her again.
yeah, yeah, it's a bit odd.
Like they did a lot of the reveals where like my immediate response was like, "Oh, she's about to fuck them up now," and then they're just right back to she just goes right back to losing.
Yeah, it's weird. It feels very sort of spectacle oriented, where it's just like, aha, I got you. No, no, I got you. Oh, ho, ho, but I got you. And like, I don't know, it didn't bother me too much, but now that you bring it up, it is definitely a weird element in the
I
series.
mean, I know they
Like, I
took like
think,
hostages or whatever because she was technically stronger than them, but it just feels weird that like they keep setting up these big payoff moments and then being like, actually, no, we're not going to do that. Like I almost feel like Samugi's gonna jump out with the lollipop, and then the next chapter she's just gonna like lose, and the ice cream girl's gonna fight again or something because that's just how it's been going.
yeah, yeah, I think that's actually a good observation. Because also, like, I don't know, them taking hostages feels like something that should have happened earlier in a way. Whereas here it just kind of feels like, again, very spectacle oriented. Aha, but I have you. Which also begs the question of how is Sumugi gonna change the situation? Because I mean, oh, just one more person that is gonna be paralyzed by the possibility of hostage death. So guess we'll have to see.
I
But for
guess.
what it's worth, it was fun, I suppose. Like just a whole bunch of fighting, and it was nice. Haha. Let's hope it stays. Let's hope it doesn't get fucking axed, because I still think Candy Flurry is one of the funnier series in the magazine so far.
Yeah, I see. That's the thing is that I like it. Um, and like, I don't know why people aren't vibing with it. I've seen some like excuses, or not excuses. That's not fair. People have opinions, obviously, but I
Mhm.
see people talk about it, and I'm like, I just don't feel that way about it. But I don't know. I think it's got great humor. I think the art's good. I think the powers are all really creative and they're showcased really well. And I don't know. It's just not hitting, I guess.
Yeah, like it's weird. Like now that you've mentioned its sales, and now that I look back over this chapter, this does have the wrong kind of energy, I'm afraid. Just,
Yeah.
the vibes are disturbed. That's my verdict.
The
The
vibes
vibes are
feel
disturbed.
shaky.
I have I have sensed a great disturbance in the vibes.
It's just you in the middle of the episode falling over, and it's just like the vibes. They're all wrong.
I have checked them and they're not right.
I checked the vibes, and I do not feel pleased. But I mean, I thought it was other than the weird jumping around of like who is actually supposed to be winning this fucking fight. Um, I thought the chapter actual content was good. I mean, there's very few Candy Flurry chapters I don't like. But I don't know. Maybe it'll get. You know what? I don't know. I don't really have a reason why it's not picking up. People just don't like it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
I'm
wrong
gonna be
because
honest.
everybody should like the things that I like exclusively, but
Of course,
obviously.
obviously. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna be honest. This fight kind of needs to wrap up soonish because I don't know how much longer I can be in indistinct school location where candy's flying around. Like I would kind of like a change of scenery. One of these chapters. Um, like if we're talking about like future projections and future possibilities. Like I don't even know how long this fight has been going on at the school. Like it can't be more like than 3-4 chapters, right?
I ca Are you saying it can't be many more than that going forward, or how many it's already been?
No, how many it's already been? It can't have been more than 3 or 4
Um,
chapters so far,
I feel
right?
like 4 chapters sounds about right, which already feels long, just
Yeah.
for what they're doing.
Yeah, so I'm kind of
Well,
hoping
okay,
that
the
they
fight technically got teased in 11. They were at the
Mhm.
school already before that. So if you're counting the time they spent at the school, it's been 5 chapters of them just fucking around in this school.
Okay, well, yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, I guess, because that's the thing. Like, especially in these early days, I feel like series need to get that sort of balance between going from place to place, right? Um, and I don't think there's like a single, what is it, like a single recipe at how to do it. Like, it's going to be different depending on your needs and like the hyper specific time at which you release. But I definitely think like it's a bit unfortunate that how many chapters in are we? Chapter 17, 16, something like that.
Today was or last week was 15, so next week is 16.
Yeah, so 15 chapters in and you're already spending 4 chapters at a single location fight. I don't know if I can really judge and say that's way too long or whatever, but there definitely is a weird momentum issue here that, again, just not sure what to think of it. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say on Candy Flurry for this week.
Yeah, I know. If I want to say more because like Candy Flare is one of those series where I feel like I could praise it all the time, but then when someone's like, "Okay, do it," I'm like, "Oh." Oh wait.
Anything beyond non-distinct, I like this, is just too much.
Yeah, which feels bad, but I would like there to be more Candy Flurry. Please don't cancel it. But anyway, next series.
Yeah, so what's
Let's
next?
see. Next up is the Elusive Samurai.
Which was pretty cool.
Yeah, we're still
Like,
kind
I
of
liked
like
it.
I liked it too. It's kind of weird how long we're taking to like set up the battle starting, but I'm glad it finally started. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like it took a long time to get to that point. But the actual combat starting up, I like the way that they do this in the Elusive Samurai because it's actual like warfare battles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not, they could have spent all their time last time focusing on the kid fighting the bandit and like that's the whole thing, but they didn't. They sent you out toward like the whole actual conflict, and they're doing it here too, which I think is really cool. Also, it's really hard to depict like a large scale battle like that in a manga, which
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fucking awesome that they're doing that. Like the actual military tactics, like making the smoke screen, and then you've got the guy releasing the fucking logs into the river and opening the dam and stuff. It's fucking cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's I definitely enjoy that aspect about that as well. And the first thing I want to mention because I I thought it while reading the chapter and it doesn't I can't let go of it. The fact that the ear and the eye guy seem to be mainstays now in like the story is amazing. That is so good. I want to see more of them. Like the fucking
What what
ear
what
general.
excuse did he make? He said his eye was swollen.
Yeah, and then the other one's like you just close your eye. Like it's so funny
Is it
for no
is it
reason.
me, or are those two both way funnier than the priest?
Yes,
They're way funnier,
100%.
right?
100%. Like I can't they definitely haven't made me laugh as hard or the priest definitely hasn't made me laugh anywhere near as hard as those two have many times at this point.
It's just
Like
it's funny
in
because
general
they're
it seems
both
like
creepy and funny because they look visually weird, but like
Mhm.
it's just everything they do is funny to me.
Yeah, I mean, in general, it seems like this series has this thing where it wants the priest to be funny so badly, but a lot of like incidental side characters end up being more entertaining. Like the super happy looking revolutionary of this chapter and
Yes,
last
it's
chapter.
so funny. The guy with just like the Lucas face,
Yeah,
so funny.
my head is gonna jump up the enemy's ass and eat their insides with a smile. What a
It's so
chat.
good.
Yeah. And just in general, like I enjoy seeing like the way the author is trying to essentially write this sort of historical war drama while wiggling around it in such a way that he can like have the elusive gimmick in it, right? Because the whole thing is about that they don't do straight warfare. They don't do, just head-to-head battles shown and it's more like sort of insidious in a way. And I like how this fight kind of took a comedic spin on it as well, where the big twist is that the army we're following is so fucking enthusiastic about dying. They can't fucking wait to get
I know
massacred.
they're like all about it.
Yeah. And I also like how like it then kind of naturally ties it up when our main guy's retainer helps him out and he's like, his death will be honorable. And he's like, what the fuck do you mean his death? Like, have you no value for life? Retreat now, you dipshit. Like, it's definitely a cool way of like going through this sort of warfare story while sticking true to your rather goofy premise. So yeah, no, I'm definitely enjoying Elusive Samurai right now.
Yeah,
It's not slapping as hard.
I really like the panel where he's standing, or the page, I guess, where he's standing in between all the panels of them, like covered in blood, and one of them
Mm-hmm.
is his guy getting cut, and he just
Mm-hmm.
snaps. Shit's great. Good stuff.
Yeah, just so good. Like yeah, like I don't think it's snapping as hard as it was during like the big fight. a while ago with the gross guy.
No,
Yeah,
no, that was peak for sure when he's doing the gentle blade or whatever it is.
yeah,
Um,
the kindness sword.
yes, that shit
Kill-
was peak, but it's still good. It's still real good.
Yeah, like and looking at the sales numbers, it seems like it's gonna keep going on and continue being good.
Yeah,
So
so if the stuff that I thought sucked is making it ranked 12, I assume the stuff that I think is good. Or maybe I'm just always wrong. So when I think it's good now, all the sales are going to plummet. Everyone's going to be like, "What's this shit?" Take it back to bad chapters.
basically, like
Uh,
the moment you say anything nice on this podcast, the Shonen Jump editors, which clearly watch every episode religiously, they're just like, he enjoys something. Fuck that guy. Just fuck him.
absolutely fuck this guy. Cut it. Sora, it's selling like a
Yeah.
cut it.
Oh, he thinks something is stupid? Print 17 volumes right now.
That's why
For
Roboco is
ev-
going to be like their cover issue thing from now on.
for every breath we draw, Roboco gets another chapter extension just to spite us.
Oh God.
Uh, so what's next?
Up next is Mashle.
Which was fun.
It was fun. It was really good. Uh,
Like the sequence where it's like Mash Burndead was now the linchpin in this drama. Burdened with all this knowledge, Mash then now decides to go to the beach.
to have a fucking beach episode.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this entire chapter was just kind of fun and fluff, but it's Mashal, so it was very enjoyable.
Right,
The
like
final,
the headmaster whose body is still like broken in half is just on the beach.
just chilling. Or like the final joke where it's like, I will do everything in my power to bring peace to the magic world. And they're like, okay, but what are you gonna do about school? And he's like, huh? Yeah, you're one failing grade away from expulsion. Oh no!
Yeah, I love the last panel is like such a tropey like uh.
Yeah, oh, it's so good. But also like in terms of like the story, what they set up here is pretty interesting that he has to go fight his 5 siblings. Like, that's
Yeah, I like that too. I hope that it doesn't settle too hard into like, okay, Mash fights this guy. All right, time for me to go find the next guy. Like, I hope the side characters stay useful in battle. Granted, they're not that
Mhm.
useful now, but at least like Lance and maybe the headmaster gets another fight. I hope the headmaster's not sidelined forever because his fighting was cool. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
but
Uh,
you know,
speaking of speaking of the future, by the way, did you hear that the author confirmed that Mashle is 50% done?
I could see that. I mean, what do you have other than this, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what could you go to after Innocent Zero? The answer is pretty much nothing. So that's not terribly surprising.
Yeah, which honestly I think is cool. You know, like just a succinct, nice story about this muscle boy who's gonna go beat up his brothers or sisters. I mean, whichever it is. So that'll be interesting. I'm kind of really curious to see like what other like elements or aspects these siblings are gonna have. Because Mash is obviously supposed to be the body that Innocent Zero was gonna inhabit. So the other 5, I'm assuming, are other like specific attributes that he was going to absorb into himself. So yeah, very exciting. Like it's cool to have like an actual plot structure to Mash now, or at least, you know, presumed plot structure. It could also just skip to next chapter and he has beaten all 5 already.
If it did that, I would almost not even care. I'd be like, that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be like, oh well,
Well, I
whatever.
assume we're taking a little break now for him to go do like the final exams or whatever, just to get out of the combat time all the time stuff. Because I mean, Mashle's still got to keep the tone. You know, we can't all of a sudden just be like, bleak battle all the time. So I assume we're gonna get a little break, and then we'll start punching his brothers and sisters in the face.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that sounds about right. But yeah, as far as this chapter goes, it was just a lot of cool fun and good prospects for the future.
I really
That's
love the
all I
line
really have on it.
of where Lemon's like, "You can't just put Mash up against all the strongest magic users in the whole world," and he says, "It's okay. Either I win or I lose. So I've got a 50% chance, and these muscles have never lost. So that's a 100% chance."
The most unscientific reasoning imaginable.
I fucking love Mash. She's so good.
He's such a lovable dude. Really one of the like cooler current like new gen protagonists, definitely. Very, very endearing.
All right, let's see. That was a really quick Mash segment for
Well,
rawness and swag out of 10.
yeah, Honest and Swag out of 10, like, it was very much just, hey, let's hang out at the beach, be funny, and talk about the future kind of deal. So, happens.
All right, let's see. Next up on the list, I am dragging out so I can write the timestamp, is Undead
Hmm.
Unluck.
Which was sweet.
It was.
Like,
I also really loved all of the shots of like the versus pages. I thought that was so cool. It's probably
hmm
some people probably think it looks cheesy, but like that shit gets me hyped, dude. I don't care. That shit was sick.
yeah. It's very sort of like, I don't know. I always get that early 2000s anime vibe from it when you get the two characters staring off and then the shing, like the speed line in between them, and then I don't know, the episode ends or whatever. Like I always get those vibes from these versus pages. It feels very nostalgic to me.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah.
very nostalgic and it's just like it's cool. Just the visuals of it look so good. It's a whole ass double spread of like all the combatants getting set up exactly. Oh, dude, it's fucking awesome. I need this. I need these fights.
Yeah, like, you know, it's just cool shit, and I liked that it was like the end point of a chapter was otherwise kind of somber and sweet. Well, it was just kind of people preparing for a very, very dangerous mission, and kind of just thinking about what that danger means to them. Like the shot of Andy being like, "Hey, this place is wicked sick, isn't it?" That like actually was really cool and beautiful.
Also, the actual art itself in that panel is very pretty. But yeah, the
Well,
whole
yeah, but
conversation between him and I will never say her name correctly. Juiz,
Jui?
Jui.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I'm gonna never say it right. Jay. Between him and Jay was really good. It was just a sweet little conversation, especially when you remember that like he's sort of Victor,
Hmm.
um, and they used to be a thing. So it's like it's just a cute little like I don't know. I thought it was very sweet.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. Like, in general, just the way they talk about how, his identity as an undead, kind of coloring all of his relationships, be it as Andy or be it as Victor. It's just sweet. Like, it's just a small thing that when you actually talk about it becomes pretty interesting and I don't know. I wouldn't say thought provoking, but a cool thing to have in your story and to think about a little. And then, of course, leading into the more bombastic, we will go fight and we will take Fuko back. You'll see. Tune in next week. Just a very quintessential shonen cap off for the chapter, preceded by just a nice chill talk under the stars. Just very nice.
Yeah, it was sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have much more to say. Again, a very short segment, but hey, when it's short, right?
Yeah, yeah. Just gonna leave that at that. I'm not gonna riff on that statement.
Brother, don't do me like that. I've had a rough week. Don't do me like that.
Oh God. All right. Next up is Choujin X.
Which is still good and still very fun.
Raw, super raw. This shit
Oh,
was
dude,
sick.
dude, when I flipped the page and I saw fucking color in my manga, I fucking lost it so hard. Like, oh my god. Because it's something that you can't do in the magazine release. But because Shoujin X is online only, he can use colors for effects like these. And I was like, whoa, pretty.
The whole
But in
thing,
general,
beastification is so raw. This
yeah,
shit's
it's just,
fucking dope.
I can already see it happening where like the term full beastification is gonna become like Bankai or domain expansion, where like whenever someone says it in the series, shit is about to go down. This is just so cool, like just giant monster fights in my good old Sui Ishida sad boy shonen. I love it. It's so good.
I can't wait to see his full beastification. I bet it's gonna be
Yeah,
dope.
yeah, for sure. Like, also like because it's cool because like her full beastification, all it really is just a giant snake. But because of the way Ishida uses his art and uses manga, it just becomes so cool and so like raw to look at.
Also,
And
it's a
also,
giant snake with human teeth, which is horrifying to look at. I don't know why.
y-
Anything with human teeth that is not a human, I'm like, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
oh, I'm thinking you've seen that what was it, that viral teddy bear picture of the teddy bear with human teeth.
Yes, and it's awful.
It's terrible.
It's awful. I'm telling you, dude, it's awful.
Human teeth are the worst. That's why you should never brush your teeth and hope they all fall out. Good ad- good advice on the air.
Shonen and chill life advice. Do not take it
Yeah.
ever.
Who says we're not fit for young children? You know, aside the continuous swearing and breeding propaganda courtesy of Shinzo Abe. So that would perfectly safe for work.
Yeah, well, yeah. I also like that we've got the girl here now, and she's like learning how to use her uh, smoke fire power. I guess smoke is some sort of offshoot of like fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking cool. Or I don't know if it's just really hot smoke. Like I can't tell, because when she
I
uses her
think,
attack, it's just smoke, but then it lights her on fire.
yeah, I'm assuming it's like ignition smoke. You know, have you played what was it called? Infamous Second Son, the one for the PlayStation 4?
No,
Yeah, okay. So there, have you ever played any of the Infamous games?
no.
Ah, fuck. You have superpowers, and one of the powers you have in that game is like smoke as well. And that's kind of how I imagine it here, where it's like it's smoke mixed in with like aerosol flames. So it's not quite as strong as straight up fire, but it will still like burn your skin and suffocate you, which I'm assuming is what she can do. Which is also cool, like the way she like come out, come out, come out, come out, come out, and then it just explodes out of her. Very, very cool. Like just a very tense sequence that's um, very well executed in my opinion.
Yeah, the whole shit was good. It was just kind of like a raw chapter, but I'm here for it because the art is awesome, and everything
Mm-hmm.
about Choujin X has been really cool so far. So I'm here for it, man.
Yeah, me too. Uh, and also, I'm very happy that we're getting Shoujin X at like a very good rate now.
Yeah, like he released one chapter 8 days after the last one. I was really expecting Choujin X to be like at most 2 to 3 weeks a chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, he's been rolling, and
Yeah,
I'm all for it because I really like it. So
yeah, like it's really cool also to see how he's like adapted to it as well. Because at the start he was doing like 50-page chapters, and now he's kind of gone back to very typical like 20, 23-page chapters. It's kind of cool to see him like settle into a rhythm that is comfortable for him in real time.
I
That's
wonder if
very
like
nice. I mean,
if people could use Choujin X as a model of like how it should be done. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I mean, ideally it should. That's how it should be. But the thing is, obviously, I doubt many, especially new mangaka, will have the clout to push for something like that.
Oh sure, no, but like fuck, man. I just keep reading these burnout stories, and I'm like, this is not good.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, this release schedule will be the norm. You know, just release it whenever you feel like it. But at the same time, Shonen Jump is a weekly magazine, and you'd have to kind of change its entire identity for that. And I think because Choujin X is an online only series as far as I'm aware. There's no print version of it. Um, People don't. I don't think print media whose release schedule is once in a while is probably very successful. And then also that probably once in a while would have to coincide with enough authors so they could print um, a full magazine. So I'm imagining the only way something like this would be normalized is if manga would become digital only, or like the weekly or continuous release will be digital only, and then you'd still get volumes and whatnot. But yeah, I kind of don't see it happening anytime soon, unfortunately.
No, I mean, the harsh reality of it all, but it's just neat looking at Choujin X being a series that, basically just comes out when he wants it to come out, and the product is always awesome. But it probably
Yeah.
doesn't make Shonen Jump 11T shit gajillion dollars, so it's never going to matter because capitalism rules.
Yeah, and the only reason he can do it is because he has already made Shonen Jump 11 shitillion dollars with Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, such is
But then
life.
again, I mean, Ishida has always tried different things with his mangas and had varying success with them. Like apparently, uh, I there's a manga by him whose name I already feel weird saying. I think it's a gag manga and it's called Rape Man.
What?
Yes,
What?
yes. Apparently that's by him through a pseudonym. I had that
Okay.
explained to me. Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. I do not have to explain anything because it's exactly what it sounds like. And I couldn't figure out what the story behind it was, if that was like him trying to get noticed as a young and edgy mangaka, or if there was something else. But yeah, so Ishida's been around the block as a mangaka.
All right.
So
Well, I'm
that
gonna leave that one as is.
as is.
Okay.
Well, you know, Boichi exists, so I suppose we shouldn't be too surprised.
Hey, listen. Boichi's doing God's work, all right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say Shoujin X is doing very well right now as well. Sometimes. Anyway, yeah, no. Anyway, I think we better leave this.
Okay. Next up is do you want to talk about Vigilantes? Because I straight up didn't read it.
Yeah, I can quickly talk about Vigilantes. Okay, people in the comments, please help me. Oceans is a dum dum, and I don't fucking understand how Koichi's new power works. Because basically all I got from reading this chapter was that no one understands what it is, and Six is just like, oh, it's reflex. Which, like, if it is reflex to just, perfectly block Mach 10 speed attacks, wow, cool.
Yeah,
Like,
how do you even do that on reflex? How fast are your reflexes if you're able to do that?
I mean, okay, reflexes in fiction, in manga, and just fiction in general are always fucky, because what people never realize in these stories that reflexes have a hard speed limit in reality, which is 1 millisecond. No matter what happens, there is no signal in your body that can travel faster than a millisecond. Um, with very fringe exceptions in areas of the body that don't matter to fighting a guy that can explode you. Um, so saying you can react to Mach, whatever, how fast this is, reflexively has me kind of sitting there like, I know this is fiction. I know I shouldn't be thinking about realism, but at some point, you know, at some point you kind of lose me. But again, I'm not gonna go too hard because I am genuinely just not sure if I understood this correctly. Because I'm rereading this and it's super wonky. So people in the comments, please let me know what that is about. I'll definitely read the comments. But aside from that, I have nothing to say on Vigilantes that I haven't said in the other weeks. Like slow,
Dookie series.
Dookie water.
Doo-doo. Doo-doo series. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. What's next?
Next up is going to be... Pause for timestamp. Red Hood.
Okay. Dude, the vibes this chapter were immaculate.
Absolutely immaculate, dude. Just the cool shit like the fucking the hermit crab that was a tractor.
Yes,
I love shit like that.
It has such a Monster Hunter feel to it. Like, oh yeah, this is like a crab that just sticks stuff to itself, and this is another crab that shoots guns.
You know what I picked up really hard in this chapter was Toriko.
Yes,
Big
that
time.
too. That too. But yeah, like it's crazy. The moment we got out of that shitty village, everything got good again. Like crazy. And I kind of also like that it seems like the dudes we saw attack the village, like the big wolf, that those are actually the final big bads and not just
random
not just
like minions. Yeah.
well, yeah, because she said the wolf guy, Lycion, is the alpha of werewolf society. So I'm assuming that that is the big bad for at least this part, however it's going to be divided. But the first part is werewolves, and well, looks like that is going to be the big main villain. And it's cool. Like the progression here is really nice. Just them going, okay, we're going to go get you into the academy. Here's how crazy and kooky the world is. And then you get like the two helpers who are like, we're super strong, but also we failed the exam, so good luck, kiddo. So yeah, just immaculate vibes. It's the only way I can say it. Like,
yeah, the vibes were exquisite. whatever you checked the vibes before and they were awful, and then you checked them again and you're healed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exquisite. If this is how the world's going to, I really thought it was just going to be like these two and the woods, and the only monsters it's just gonna be people and werewolves. And now we're getting like funky with it, and I'm all about it, dude.
Yeah.
The crab tank, the fucking crab tank. I'm so here for this shit.
Dude, the tree giant in the distance, where they're just like, oh yeah, no, don't worry, it's just a lumber giant. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's like out in the fucking ocean or whatever that thing is, and they're just like, don't worry about it. Ignore
also,
it.
I like that we got an explanation on Grimm's power, so we can definitively say that she is an adult woman. That's nice.
Just still don't sexualize her baby form, please. Shonen and chill life advice.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, we do give terrible advice about cleaning our teeth, but we do give pretty good advice when it comes to that, so please listen to us.
Our advice is a mixed bag, but yeah, we're right on this one.
Like, fitty, you know? But yeah, no, I like the explanation we're given. Like, it's succinct and like, yeah, makes sense. You got cursed, and it leaves like room for the future. We're like, oh, are we gonna find out who cursed her? Like, are we gonna find out? Are we gonna have like a story arc where that is a factor? Like, that'd be super cool. And yeah, just a lot of cool world building happening in a very tight space. I'm still missing the hunters using a bit more magic, because I'm big on magic systems, and we've seen the witch Cinderella use some magic, but the hunters so far seem to mostly be guns and swords, which, I mean, neato, but I'd like to see some magic-a-rooney.
I would like to see some magic too, but I also like that they're very technology oriented, because it leaves you open for like a lot of creative mixed bag kind of characters. I feel like when you make an organization like this that's built too hard on magic, you inevitably have to have like oh, my magic is this fireball. Oh, my magic is I make ice. But like, you can get really creative when you have technology involved with, like, you know, the woman with the scoped rifle, like the medieval looking scoped gun. And, you know, then you have the swords and all the equipment, like the various monster tanks and shit. Like, it's cool. I do want there to be some magic involved. I don't think I want to, or I guess maybe I wouldn't hate it, but I think I would like there to be a little bit more mysticism to the combat, because like the combat so far has mostly been just like blow them up with a fucking bomb. What are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know, I mean, I was just thinking right now while you were talking about this that maybe that's gonna be kind of where it is, where like the hunters are gonna be rather technological and the enemies are gonna be magical in nature. That could
Yeah,
be
and I
interesting.
kind of like that though, because it's like, you know, man versus whatever superstitious nonsense is out there, you know? So it makes a nice little divide. Um,
Yeah, and also one thing, I got a weirdly like post-apocalyptic future vibe when he was like, "Oh, it's stuck itself to a derelict tank," which was like, which had me thinking, "Wait a minute, what?"
why do you have a tank? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then the other guy is like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, you'll see a couple when you get to the capital." Which also just makes me excited to see more of this world. Like this one chapter did more for the world than the entire preceding chapters so far. It's kind of
Oh, dude,
crazy.
easily. Like this is a chapter I wish had come in like almost right after the pilot.
Yeah, honestly, if I had to restructure this, I would just cut out the fight with the two werewolf brothers, have chapter one the way it is, then have the last chapter where the big wolf and the witch go and destroy the village, have that be chapter two, and then this can be chapter three.
Yep.
Beam, boom, bam.
Yep.
Super fast.
I think the only
That,
complaints I really have about Red Hood so far is that middle portion of the
yeah.
two, because like it didn't do anything for me. I'm sure someone in the comments liked it, and I'm sure they'll say why. Like I've seen some people be like, "Oh, they needed it to reaffirm that the kid wants to hunt wolves and is actually pretty good." But I'm like, you could have easily done that in the first
I mean,
fight, or just like not right away. I don't need to be reaffirmed that my protagonist is confident. You know? Like I know he
yeah.
wants to do what the goal of the series is. He's the protagonist. You don't need to show it to me so much.
Yeah, I mean, hell, if you really wanted that fight with the two Wolf brothers, make that his like first big catch after, he's confronted with how hard it is to be a hunter. And I think that would have also been, I don't know, a more interesting way to bring the brothers in, and also would have been cool to be like, ah, yes, we are the children of the big wolf guy you fought or you saw. You know,
Yeah, that would even be cooler.
yeah, well, it's the way it is, and I'm happy that we are in good territory now. So yeah, I think my verdict for this Reddit chapter would be good territory out of 10.
Yeah, I can vibe with that. Good vibes out of 10. All right, so
All
next
right.
up on the list is going to be Dr. Stone, but I also need to put in the timestamp, so hang on just a second. I'm really going behind the curtain on this one because of getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it makes us more it makes us more personable,
Yeah,
brings the people
how
closer to
it's
us.
how it's made. Dr. Stone, let's go. Good, real good. I love basically any chapter where they're like, yeah, we're about to do something fucking crazy. That's my crack with Dr. Stone, bro. Anytime Senku's like, hey, you want to hear something fucking wild? I'm all about it.
Yeah, I mean, this was very much like a quintessential Dr. Stone chapter. Just the lads being like, "Oh no, what do we do? Let's build a thing. We can't build this thing. Anyway, let's build it."
Yep. It's the Dr. Stone formula, and I love it. Because it's always Senku like, oh, we need this. And then someone's like, what? That's crazy. Yeah, we can't do that. And Senku's like, yeah, so we're gonna do it. And then they do it. And I fucking love every second of it.
Yeah. Although I will say I'm actually very interested to see how they continue building this PC because PCs are basically magic to me. Like I know I've built the one I am recording this on right now. Uh but still, like beyond just putting the pieces together like Lego, this shit's still like absolute wizardry to me. Like I press this button and it makes a YouTube appear. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't really get it either, if I'm being completely honest, which is not a good thing to say when you work in IT. Uh,
Oh.
I don't know.
Right, I forgot.
Yeah, but also I love the little switch when when they're like, "Oh man, he's gonna make us make a bunch of these," and Gen is like, "Oh god, he's gonna say something crazy like 800, and it's 200,000."
Poor Gen as well. Like I feel like he more than any other character is the butt of all jokes.
Yeah, well, Gen's kind of lost his purpose for the most part, because he's really
Hmm.
only useful in like conflict because you use him to like trick people. So
Yeah.
when they're not fighting someone, which is a lot of the time, he's mostly just there to be the guy from that's also from the regular time, who's not a Stone
Hmm.
Age guy, so that he can be like the regular guy that comments on how crazy Senku science is. So
Yeah.
that leaves him open to be the one that gets shit on a lot by Senku. But I like it.
Yeah,
I
in a
like Gen.
way.
I like everybody. There's not really a mainstay cast member that I don't like.
Yeah, like Dr. Stone has this really cool thing where it has a fucking humongous cast, but like I don't dislike any of them. Like if they fucking show me one of those guys, I might not remember their name, but I'd be like, "Hey, that's the guy that helped make the cell phone. Cool."
Yeah, cell phone boy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it definitely carves out a very cool identity for itself there. Um, so yeah, Dr. Stone was definitely pretty good this week. Do you
Yeah, I
have any
really liked
other?
it.
Do you have anything other like any?
Yeah, a little bit. The only thing I'm worried about is this team separation, and if
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be weird to keep focus on. You know what I mean? Because I feel like Doctor Stone is very much still kind of Senku's show. Like I like everyone, but I feel like when you
Mm-hmm.
take Senku out of the plot, you're in this position where you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It becomes harder to deal with. Like even those few chapters where it was like Tsukasa, Kohaku, and Hyoga fighting in the woods, I was like, this
Mm-hmm.
does not feel right. It's cool, but it just doesn't feel Dr. Stony to me.
Yeah,
Uh,
I feel yeah.
and so I get a little worried that we might spend too much time splitting the focus. Because I'm not saying I need it to be all Senku all the time, but I feel like when you take Senku out of the plot, you kind of immediately stall the plot because he's the only one that can really get like the advancements that they need going.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know. I hope that gets focused well. But so far, I haven't had a complaint with it. It's more of just a nagging, like it could happen, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And also the close up of the nasty fingers holding the thing sucks. I hate Boichi.
Yeah. Well, that's how the shoe drops sometimes. Is that a saying? Oh wait,
No, it's not a
the shoe
thing.
dropping is something else.
The
Okay,
other shoe dropping. Yeah, that's a different thing.
whatever, whatever that means. Local literature student doesn't know common English idioms. You'll love to see it.
All right. Well, that's Doctor Stone. I don't
Yep.
know why we had a beach cover. Also.
Yeah. The cover page was very much kind of just like, oh, whatever. It's just Boichi drawing. It's just Boichi drawing with his dick again.
Yeah, but only one girl, which was surprising.
Yeah, but also look at the position she's in.
That's true. It really looks like Tsukasa is about to like slap her on the ass so hard that it shatters her entire body because he can kill lions in one punch.
Yeah, what do you think is more durable, Tsukasa's backhand or Koaku's ass?
That's a good question. I assume that Tsukasa wins there. I think the power scaling is in place.
Also, oh my god, now that I'm looking at it, Boichi is such a fucking such a swine when it comes to drawing women. Look at her leg. Look at the like ratio between her upper thigh and her ankle.
Oh yeah, no, I know, dude. Her
That
upper
is.
thigh is like 12 of her ankles lined up together.
Look at the fucking bulging thigh, like the one that's like in the background. Is that supposed to be muscle? Like,
Well, at least her on that leg, at least the calf has some muscle. Look at her leg from the foot to the knee on the front leg looks like a bowling pin. But then her thigh is like gigantic.
well, Boichi definitely has priorities.
Boichi knows, yeah, he knows what he likes and he gets it done.
He has absolutely a type.
Okay, compare Kohaku's leg to Gen's leg.
Oh wait, I gotta. Yeah.
You see what I'm
Honestly,
saying?
That's the best way to like illustrate this. Boichi is such a like he just draws with his dick, man.
The man likes shapely women. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
king. What
What
a
a
fucking king.
what a Chad. All right. What's next?
All right, next up is going to be I guess it's technically a draw, so I have to look and see what the list says is next because the rankings don't suffice. It is My Hero Academia.
The chapter.
It was good. It was really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, let's just get that right out of the way. I liked it too.
Yeah, for the love of God, everybody, please. We liked it.
Yeah.
Leave us alone.
This is like one of those things that the story has been building towards for so long, and it kind of delivered on it pretty much flawlessly. Like it didn't feel melodramatic. It didn't feel overly I don't know what do you say, like overly saccharine. It was just like Bakugo breaking down bit by bit why he did the things he did, and then ending on, dude, I'm fucking sorry for being a piece of shit for so long. Like, it doesn't. It's weird because it doesn't feel like this super big epic moment, but I feel like it's better for it that it's somewhat understated.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that it would have been easy to make this like, you know, Bakugo says he's sorry and they both like burst into tears and, that's the chapter, right? But it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. It was Bakugo saying, "Hey, I treated you like shit and I'm sorry for it, but, you know, you need to listen and you need to like come with us and we're here for you too." And it's just he gives his own little apology and fucking passes out. Like it's great.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very, I don't know. I don't want to say mature because that's such a buzzword for manga, especially, but it is a very sort of nuanced, which is also a buzzword.
Yeah, it's hard to
To,
describe it without a buzzword because at this point, praising anything is a buzzword for some people. So
yeah, true, but it is very much a sort of, yeah, a mature, nuanced way of just looking at something like this because Bakugo's apology isn't like this big, huge turning point. It is something that we all knew had to happen if these characters want to move on. And oh, dude, the sequence where they like shift through their various looks
oh, it was
through their
so
ages.
good when they're just stacked on top of each other.
Yeah,
Fucking
just
awesome.
yeah, and like now that this whole Class A rescue is over, this was so good. Like from start to finish. Like from the moment Class A showed up to now, my hero was just peak.
Absolutely,
Like
super good. I love the ending too, where all the people are like, "No, fuck that kid," and Deku goes to walk away, and immediately Uraraka grabs him and is like, "Nope, nope,
yeah,
come on, we're going in."
and as Ian on Twitter showed to me, I think we might know what Uraka's about to do, because oh look at that, here they are in front of a crowd that hates Deku, um, while President Mike is trying to calm them with a megaphone. The Volume 32 extras or teaser sketches include a sketch of Uraraka yelling into a megaphone. Hum.
Oh, I need some of that.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
love everybody shut the fuck up, Uraraka. I'm about that.
Yeah, like in general, I like how fierce she's been looking for this entire arc as well, because she's usually such a cutesy little girl. Whereas in that chapter where she's like, Deku, we need you to come with us, she just has those death eyes. Just very nice, and also seeing how that's kind of softens up here for him, and then goes back to being very stern in the final page, where she's like, who takes care of the heroes? Just so fucking good, man. Like this is the shit my hero should be famous for. Not, whatever the fuck people are upset about now. Like
Apparently, they're
this is
upset
what
that
my
Bakugo apologized. That's the thing they're currently mad about.
oh, that he apologized because he
Yeah.
is wait, did you see the one where someone was saying, "Oh, uh I related to Bakugo and now before and now I can't anymore.
Well,
You're
okay,
talking about
that
Death
was the copy pasta. That was fake.
Exactly. I was about to say
That
that.
was
That was
fake.
complete bait.
But there was
Yeah.
another one that wasn't bait, and it was the same. It was the same person who apparently like drove the translator off Twitter.
Oh, cool. Oh
Yes.
yeah, I saw
Did you
it.
see that
Oh,
where she
that's
wrote?
the
I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but they wrote the big thread about how Bakugo was
Deku
actually
is.
the victim.
Yeah. No, you know who that is?
I don't.
That's the main fan translator for the MHA fan scans.
Ah.
And yeah,
Suddenly, everything makes a lot more sense.
that's the that's the person that drove Caleb off Twitter, or that started it at the very least.
Yeah.
Like, you know, yeah, I saw that thread. That's
Yeah, that
whew,
thread sucked. What a terrible
that
thread.
was crazy.
What an absolute lack of understanding of how human beings work.
Well, even beyond that, just the way it was put, it's amazing. Like, I fucking love dramatic online kids because it's so incredible the shit that they write. Like, oh my god, being continuously being bullied makes you the sociopath, not the bully, bro. No way. So fucking stupid. Oh, but yeah, no, that's I believe still right now the main translating entity for the illegal fan scans.
Love
So, you
that.
know,
Love that.
yeah, love that. Love that that's the person people trust more than
The
Caleb.
official hired translator. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I hate to see it, but not much we can do now. Caleb, I don't know if you watch this, but if you do, I hope you're living your best life. Because I know he was pretty involved with the fandom, which, you know, ended up being the problem, I suppose.
Yeah,
But
I hate that kind of shit because like you got really cool little tidbits from him, and he did Dr. Stone ones too. So I fucking caught a
yeah.
stray because you My Hero
Yeah, he
kids can't
did.
fucking act right. Catching strays over here, Dr. Stone fandom. We don't have that much. All right.
Uh, but yeah, no. Get back to the chapter. I think this is one of those like seminal, foundational My Hero chapters. Like I feel like especially once this gets adapted into the anime, if it gets adapted and not cut out randomly,
Oh god.
um, um, that'll be like one of like the biggest moments, which again is super ironic considering how understated it is. And yeah, I just I want to see more of this. Like, the only thing I don't like, and it doesn't have anything to do with the chapter, but with something that happened at the same time as this chapter came out, is that Volume 31 dropped for My Hero, which confirmed that Deku's current look is called Dark Deku or Black Deku.
Oh fuck yeah, I remember that. Those were some good memes.
The Deku of Darkness. That's what
Those
the
were
D in
some
Deku stands for.
quality memes.
Yeah, so that's fucking stupid. But aside from that, this was flawless, perfect. Like I can't think of something that I didn't like. Like everyone came together and had something to say. The fact that Mina says the phrase, "I just don't want to lose more people," it's such a throwaway line until you remember that she saw Midnight's corpse.
Yes.
Like that shit. Once I realized that hits so hard, and it's like it's nothing, right? It's a fucking paper thin character, uh, relating an event to the death of another paper thin character, but because you know it evokes certain implications about what must be going on in her head. It's so good. This is such great and efficient character writing. Like I don't give a shit about Mina as a person, but that little line is just so perfectly placed and has just the right amount of context to make me go, "Oh fuck," in just the right moment. So yeah, just all around great.
Also, we got to see
I,
inside the spacesuit, and it's pretty cute.
yeah.
It's also
Also,
good.
did you catch that they said UA can combine with Shiketsu Academy?
To make whatever this giant mech fortress is.
Dude, I don't know how active you are with like My Hero fan theories or whatever,
Literally
but
zero. Not even a single one.
okay. There is an ongoing thing in Horikoshi's art he will in like color pages and anniversary pages. He randomly includes like a giant mecha whale, like a flying whale fortress. And the moment I saw that thing, where like, oh, they can combine and maybe form a mech, I was like, no way. Because those color pages also predicted Deku with Gran Torino's cape. That started popping up like hundreds of chapters ago as like a color page running gag. So like, dude, if they turn this into like a floating giant whale fortress, it'll be dumb as shit, but also so fucking raw. Like fucking the folks standing at the helm of a giant fucking whale in the sky, wind flowing through their capes. Like
That would
I'm
be
not
pretty
saying I
sick.
want that. Yeah, I'm not
It
saying
would
I
be
want
pretty
that, but
sick.
I kind of yeah.
Not
Yeah,
saying
wait,
I
let me
need that, but
not saying the streets may require it. However, wait, let me see if I can find because there's one where it has both the cape and the whale. Let me see. Academia color page whale. When you Google color page, all you get is like children's books coloring pages.
that's fair.
I fucking
You
hate
could be
that.
worse.
Yeah. Where is the mecha whale? Show me the mecha whale. Anyway, you keep talking. I'll be looking for this chapter.
Good chapter. They
Good chat.
good
They did the thing.
quality product. I like how Deku is drawn now. Not like the edginess, but just like the way he's drawn. Like his hair looks different and stuff. But it's gonna suck when he goes back to being a little Mickey Mouse puff boy.
Well, yeah, I mean, what is it? Like his hair especially is drawn very differently now, right? Like it looks super
Yes,
wispy.
it's very like fluffy and like feathered looking.
Hmm.
And it's definitely gonna go back to being like a little Mickey Mouse. I'm not saying you can't be happy, but I just like the way that he's drawn, like the way that his face looks. Uh,
Yeah, like kind of harrowed, right?
yeah, just a little bit more, a little bit less goofy. I think he was a little
Hmm.
goofy for me. Uh,
Also, I found it.
okay, good, because I was running out of things to say.
Uh-huh. So you see, it's all there. The
Yeah,
cape and the
no, I
whale.
need that expeditiously. I need that like yesterday. Are you fucking
Yeah, and
kidding me? War blimp? Need that so bad.
yeah. Also, if you can see the text on it, this was the fucking anime announcement for the first season. This color page, like this is how far back this goes. It's kind of insane to think about,
I'm kind of for it, dude. That looks so fucking cool. That looks so fucking
right?
cool. I need that shit.
Yeah,
I need that. Like that's exactly what I need in this. Something wild and crazy like that. I'm here for it.
yeah. Let's go. We got the Zen Man
Fucking
hype for My
go.
Hero.
Finally, I'm hyped for something in My Hero, and it's gonna let me down when it happens. All right,
Fuck
so.
off. I can't believe we almost had him, fellas. We almost had him.
All right, time to
Uh,
move on. Unless you have anything else you want to say.
no, no. My Academia gets a 10 out of 10. I'm not even gonna josh you.
All
Like,
right,
who
all right.
fucking cares?
It gets a please give me that fucking mecha whale out of 10.
It's the cock and balls of Shonen Jump out of 10. That's what this is. Well, okay. I could say I'm gonna say it's the cock of Shonen Jump because the balls is what we're about to talk about now. Oh fuck you! I'm tweeting that. I'm tweeting.
All right, well, I guess the last thing that we have to talk about is the balls. Jujutsu
Yeah.
Kaisen. Super dope chapter. I really want to know what her technique is. I've seen a lot of cool theories on it that it's magnetic or it's based
Hmm.
on like space. Like you can't be but a certain distance closer or farther away from something that she's marked. Which is
Hmm.
why she can't approach Megami either. She's like stuck just as much as they are. Both of them are cool options. And every time Jujutsu Kaisen just gets to like pop off and do some cool shit, like choreography wise, it's always awesome. Megami slinking out of the shadows in the ground to take these dudes out is some of the coolest shit I've ever seen. It looks
Yeah.
so good. Like,
I
obviously
need
he's not
more.
the first character to do it, but doing it in this
Mhm.
cool like heist setting where they're like trying not to get seen by any of the security cameras and they have to take them all out in the right way. And then it like Megami's doing all this cool action hero shit and it cuts to Panda just playing with a
Yeah.
tire.
Like, in general, I need Megumi to do more like shadow warfare as things go on,
Yeah, it's
because
like
that's
the
one of
cool
his
it's like
coolest
such a cool
abilities.
little heist power concept of him being able to like slip in and out of shadows and attack people.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. And I also, man, I had missed Panda. He's such a fun character.
He is. He's sitting there playing with the tire, and they're like, "Oh, it's cute. You think he eats?" And then the very next panel of him is like a detailed like attack panel, and he's
Yeah,
just beating
he's
the shit out of these dudes.
like, thank you for the sausage.
Yeah, he's running up the stairs. It's so funny.
Yeah. Also, I think this chapter became so much funnier once you look at the final page and think about it in the way that Hakari sounds like he's trying to get Yuji into a pyramid scheme.
He absolutely sounds like he's trying to sign Yuji up for like an MLM. hundred
Yeah.
percent. It's like those YouTube ads you get where it's like, "I make $20,000 a week sitting on my couch."
You want to have $10,000 a month passive income? Just buy my course.
Just buy my book on how to do it.
And the book just says, "Gotcha, jackass. This is how I get my 10K." But yeah, no. God, this chapter was so fun. Like this entire like mini arc is one of I said it. I think I said it last time as well. But this mini arc is so cool. Like as a concept, it's so fun. A fucking underground Jujutsu Kaisen ring. Sign me the fuck up.
Right?
And
It's
so far,
such a
it's been
cool
cool.
idea. Like, I mean, it's obviously my man was binging Fight Club when he was taking his break. Clearly.
Oh,
But
I
like,
mean,
what a cool
100%.
fucking idea.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, more manga need to just watch good movies and then rip them off completely.
Exactly. It's fucking raw. And I love the concept of like I think it what am I trying to say? I think it rounds out the world a little bit because I refuse to believe that there's this whole society of like magic users and nobody is like, how can I make some fucking money off this?
Yeah,
Right?
right?
Jujutsu society felt too separate from the real world before this, I think, where like
Hmm.
it was all perfectly sequestered off on its own thing. And yet there, have you ever listened to any of the audio dramas?
No, not that I know.
So, if you don't know what they are, they're the voice actors for the show. Basically, read these little audio. Basically, they're like scripts they read out, and it's purely audio,
Hmm.
so you have to find them like translated on YouTube. And most of them are just silly stuff like, oh, Itadori and Megami go to the city and play video games, and Itadori sucks and Megami's good, and that's where the jokes are and stuff like that. Um, but there's one that it's with Gojo and Nanami, and it's them investigating this person who makes cursed corpses and sells them like to people who just lost babies. So he advertises
Oh.
himself as like, I can bring your baby back to life, but really it's a cursed corpse and it's fake. And so they confront the guy and they find like this woman and her son, who and the woman bought
Mhm.
one for the to replace a baby that she had just lost, and like the son's freaking out because the son is like, that's not my brother, that's some kind of monster thing, but the woman is like losing her mind, and it's really cool, and it really made me want to see more of like kind of the seedy underbelly, I guess, of like what people could do with these kind of powers, like the nastier aspects of it, as opposed to just like the Zenin clan hates women. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so
although
I'm really glad we're kind of going down that route and seeing more of like the funky, illegitimate side of the Jujutsu world.
yeah, although what you just described sounds very similar to what Yaga was doing, no?
Yes, but Yaga did it on specific request from Kusakabe, and he was like, "Are you sure about this? Because this is kind of fucked up."
Oh yeah, okay, that's true.
But in this, it's the guy basically doing it as like a backdoor. It's the same. It's exactly the same thing, but it's him selling it as like, I am a spiritual medium and I can revive your baby.
Oh, I
And they
see.
go through like Gojo, when he breaks it down and he's like explaining to the guy how he figured out his strategy. He's like, oh, you only do it with babies because babies can't talk. They're like non-distinct. So all you need to do is make it be able to match a couple physical characteristics that the parent gives you, and it's an easy
Mhm.
enough illusion to sell because no one can be like, that's not how my baby talks. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
And it was all very cool. It was very neat. It gave me some hunger for the stuff that we're seeing now. So this
Okay.
whole portion is. You should listen to those, by the way. Not both Ocean Man and any of the viewers who haven't seen them. You should go and listen to those. They're really good. There's
Okay.
one
Yeah.
that's basically Yuji and Megami tailing Gojo through the city on his day off, trying to figure out what he does for fun.
Uh huh.
There's one where it's the main trio and Gojo doing a game show together that then has a sequel, which is the main trio and the second year trio all in Gojo's shitty little game show. And then
Hmm.
there is the one with the Curse Corpse salesman, the black market baby reviver. There's
Okay.
more also, but they're hard to find because you have to rely on fan translators on YouTube. So they're not
Yeah, of
easy to
course.
find if you don't speak Japanese.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, sure. I mean, despite how much I bitch about My Hero side content, I'm always up for like, these side expansions as long as they're good.
Yeah,
Like,
see, with these, it's almost like this is just some bite-sized extra shit you could get. I don't know how much I would love a whole manga of like, here's just some fucking guy also
yeah,
doing
true,
sorcery.
true. But sometimes side content can be, episodic and cool like that. Like, I don't mention them a lot, but the My Hero novels are exactly that. Just every chapter is a single little incident that gives you a little bit of a different perspective on just the world and the characters. Like, man, I did not realize I needed parent-teacher meeting gets awkward because Endeavor showed up in my life.
See,
But
that's
damn, it was
awesome
fun.
though. That's the kind of side content I want. That's the shit I'm
Yeah,
here for. Like, I don't want, hey, this is a story that took place 10 years before the main story involving some fucker. Here you
yeah,
go. Like, but if
yeah,
it's something silly like Endeavor came in and the parent teacher conference fucking is awkward because he's a giant piece of shit. Like, I'm all about that.
yeah. I mean, yeah, on one hand you have stuff like Vigilantes, which is like, oh, big story, big prequel, and you read the novels and it's like, oh yeah, here's that one day where Uraraka and Suyu found a guy stealing women's underwear and beat the shit out of him until he literally shat himself.
See, that's what I'm
You know,
here for. That shit rules.
that's so fucking raw.
That shit rules.
Yeah,
I'm all
just
about
like
it.
Jujutsu Kaisen. Just like
The
the
best
balls.
the best part of the audio drama where they find the black market baby thief is that they spend like 10 minutes of it with Gojo explaining that he is the second biggest fan of baked potatoes in all of Japan. Not the first, the second.
Who's the first?
I don't think they ever say who the first is. But
Okay.
at some point he says something absurd, like he's never had butter on one before. And Nanami's like, how in the hell are you the second biggest fan of baked potatoes? You've never had butter on one. And then Gojo's like, that's why I'm not the first biggest fan. It's really funny.
I remember when I showed Jujutsu Kaisen to one of my friends, I asked him to describe it, and his single description was crackhead energy.
Yes.
And that is 100% correct. What the
Accurate.
fuck?
Extremely accurate in the best way.
Uh, but yeah, to kind of loop this back around to the actual shit we're supposed to be talking about, um, I'm also really digging Hakari. Like, he has so much swag. It just
Yes,
seems like such
Hakari's
a
very cool.
confident guy.
Very
Yeah.
cool. And just the whole, like, I love the concept of them trying to explain to them that we're not here to fuck with you, we want your help, but also they don't trust people from the school automatically. I like that kind of
Hmm.
dynamic, especially with a character that might be around more. I like it more
Hmm.
than pure antagonism, you know? Because
Yeah.
Hikari doesn't we don't really know for sure if he has a reason to not want to help. Because they see the school and their automatic thought is like, oh no, so they're here to do something bad to us. So I want to know more about what went on here, what they're so worried about. Because obviously Hikari beat the shit out of some old redneck MAGA guy, and that's why he's in trouble. So why are they so stressed that the school is like here to hurt them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm also interested to see more of Kirara, because they seem interesting.
Yeah, I love the. I want to know her power. I want to know Hikari's power too. I love finding out powers in Jujutsu Kaisen because they're always cool.
Yeah, in general, like I think Gege has a really, I don't know, he has this weird mind where he will look at a power like, oh yeah, spatial manipulation, haha. Okay, anyway, here's math,
Yeah.
right? So it's always funny and interesting to kind of try and figure these things out. But also at the same time, it gives me absolutely zero confidence in trying to figure things out on myself before they're explained.
Because
Like,
it's just completely fucking off the wall batshit.
Yeah. Like Kirara probably can repel people based on what movies they watched last.
Yeah, I
Like
mean
what
we know it
movie
has to have
genre.
something to do with that that mark that she put on Panda's ass.
Yeah. That it also says Imai, which I have no clue what that means.
I recall seeing on Twitter it means like star or something like that.
Okay.
So that's why people were thinking it has something to do with like space.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Well, I suppose we'll have to see.
Because I also don't know if Twitter's right, because Twitter could also just be full of shit, which
Oh,
it
yeah,
often is. So don't take anything Twitter says as like something to base a theory on. But that's what it said. But I just want to know what everyone's power is, and I want to see. I want Hikari to like join. I want Hikari and Kirara to join the team. But I think if they do that, one of them's probably gonna die. Probably Kirara, if I had to guess.
Yeah, probably. Because I feel like, I mean, honestly, Gege could really just do a complete reverse flipple, and Hakari doesn't come along, and instead Kirara does. And Hakari, like, remains sort of a non-entity.
I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of sounds like a Gege thing to do.
I don't want that to happen, but I could see it happening because I need Hikari to come in and start busting dudes up. I want to see someone fight that's supposedly stronger than Yuta.
Yeah, fair. I can see that. But yeah, I think I've pretty much run out of different ways to phrase rawness and swag.
Yeah,
What about you?
I've hit my limit as well on this is some goat shit. So so it is though. So anyone who doesn't think it's some goat shit, fuck y'all. Watch Fight Club and then read this arc.
Yeah, I mean, you can also first read this arc and then watch Fight Club. Just make sure to do both at any
Yeah, you
given
just
point
have
in your
you have
life.
to do both. It doesn't matter the order you do them in, but you've got to do both.
Exactly. So are we done?
I think so. And also watch the audio dramas. Please watch those too.
Oh, definitely. Also, just to end it properly, I tweeted out Jujutsu Kaisen MHA, the cock and balls of Shonen Jump, and the first reply I got is, and One Piece is the asshole. Good night, fellas.
Inevitably. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night. See y'all around. Bye.